I'm Kelcey. That's Lang. And boy, do we have a topic for you today. Lang,
Do we?
how are
Yes,
you?
we do.
Yeah, we do. Because it was announced earlier this week that Carmelo freaking Anthony is retiring from the NBA. I think everyone has Carmelo stories. They loved him. They had his jersey growing up. You had like actual memories with Carmelo. And so I think it's really cool. And then after the Lakers got swept, LeBron was like, hey, maybe I'll retire. Okay. So we're going to talk about the next NBA star.
I mean, we're reaching like the end of a generation of stars. Like all those guys were in the 2003 draft, but like there's a whole collective of guys who are about that same age now.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
That actually makes me feel so old. Wild. So I'm going to go 3 guys who we think like will be the next guys to retire.
Yeah.
Carmelo would have been on this list if we had done this like last week.
Especially, I mean, Carmelo hadn't played in a year, so like it wasn't like a huge surprise, I guess, that he officially hung it up.
Yeah.
But
All right.
so my number 3 is I'm gonna go Blake Griffin.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's 35 years old. He's on the Celtics. I mean, the other thing is a lot of these guys, I think, if they want to play a few more years, they probably could find a job somewhere. And Blake Griffin's kind of done that with the Celtics. He doesn't play that much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he might be one of those guys who, you know, he has other interests too. Like maybe
Yeah,
he
he's
wants
just
to
like there to be a
go
vet.
to Hollywood and write jokes and stuff.
He is very funny.
Yeah.
My number 3 is a guy who does still play. He was on the Grizzlies. He's been on a lot of teams, and that's Danny Green. I think
That's your guy.
It's my guy. Battling injuries, but also you've seen the transition of what he wants to do when his season or when his playing career is done, and that's go into broadcasting. He's on ESPN all the time. And so I think
Has a podcast.
he has a podcast for a couple seasons now. So I think we've been slowly groomed to like see what that looks like for life after basketball for him. And so I don't think that happens next year, but I do think he's one of the guys that is coming up.
Yeah, another guy who I thought about today was Derrick Rose.
That's my number 2 as well.
He's 34 years old.
So old.
But we all know, like, I mean, the injury stuff he's been throughout his career and just trying to stay healthy and play. And even being on the Knicks this year, wasn't really in the rotation down the stretch in the playoffs. But he's a beloved guy, and I think still I would assume like a team would use a veteran leader like him to have around in a backup role. But you know, like I think if you're a guy like him, and as much money as you've made, and as long as you've played, like,
do you want to go do that?
Yeah.
Or
Like
do you want to just go enjoy your life with
maybe
your
you want to
kids?
just go be with your family. So I don't know.
Yeah, Derrick Rose is my number 2 as well.
We probably have the same number 1.
I don't know. Does it rhyme with Schmish Schmall?
Yeah. I thought of a different person though I could throw in there too.
Okay.
It wouldn't really. I think we're talking about Chris Paul, obviously.
Why, obviously.
Or well, it could be somebody else whose name rhymes with Mishmal. Why did you say Chris Paul is your number 1?
He's getting older.
He's
I feel
38.
like, yeah, he continues to battle the same injuries over and over and over. I know, well, I don't know him personally, but it seems like he wants that ring before he's able to retire, and it just didn't happen this year. And he's just one of the guys.
The only thing with him is I wonder if he would go to a championship caliber team and just be a backup for a year or 2. You know, stagger his minutes, take some time off.
And which he could. Like, he played a huge
Definitely.
role with the Suns this year.
Still
He's
really
obviously still
good.
capable and still great.
I mean, in some ways, you could say the Suns are that team he should go to, you know, except his salary is such that they can't really have another point guard on their roster. So, you know, maybe at some point when this contract's up, he goes somewhere else and tries to find something smart. The other guy I thought about, and I mean, he's the same age as Derrick Rose, is Kevin Love. You know,
he kind of got a little refresh though this year.
I mean, Miami does that to a lot of people. I think that.
Look at Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I just think like, you know, Kevin Love's been around for a long time, injury stuff too, and maybe, you know, he's a guy who's always had interest outside of basketball, and maybe he'd want to go do that stuff too.
Yeah, I think that also is a good point. Like the interest outside of basketball thing. Obviously, everyone has some interest, but like open public interest, where like, you know, some guys get into business, or some guys, like you said, like want to go tell jokes or get into broadcasting, and so that is another piece. I don't know. CP3 likes wine, doesn't he? Maybe he wants to like get a winery, and I like truly mean that. Like people do really cool things outside of basketball, so another thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
We want to know who you guys think is the next star to retire. Do I think it's LeBron? Absolutely not.
I don't either.
I do not either. I think that's baloney. We'll see you guys next week on IMHO.